Today we're going to talk about your 8-week work plan. You all should have received a copy of this work plan when you walked in. If you didn't get it, feel free to go back out and ask Austin or Tristan. And then we're going to go over the marketing toolkit and all the graphic assets and all the fun things that are going to help you get your campaign going. So how many of you came to all 3 boot camps? Yay! How about 2? How about 1? How about this is your first one? All right, well, I'm glad you're here. You're here at a very, very good boot camp. But we are taking into account some of the things that we went over in the other boot camps. And I want to remind you all that that information is available at iheartoc.org/toolkit. So we've got PowerPoints, we've got videos of the boot camp, so it's just like you were here. You can't ask a question, but other than that, it's like you were here. The donor cultivation, which was last week, that video should be up today. Okay, great. So my name is Carol Ferguson. If you don't know me by now, you've probably seen my name 100 times, but I'm a Senior Donor Relations and Program Officer at the Orange County Community Foundation, and really excited and happy to be able to be the lead for the iHeartOC campaign for the 2nd year in a row, and super excited about the tools that we've been able to give you this year, because I think you're all going to have incredible success. So I'm going to be presenting today, and then we've got our team from Reveille. We've got Anna Romiti and Chelsea Nasitka. Did I get that right? Yes. Who's like our social media expert. So I'm going to start, and then we'll have Reveille come up here and go through the actual assets and such. So we would like this to be an interactive session. While I'm going through the presentation, I'm going to point out what page of the marketing or of the work plan that I'm talking about. And it might be nice for you to take a couple notes, just anything that comes to mind. We're not going to actually fill this out because this is something that you're going to want to do back at your organization. And just FYI, all these seats have a little desk. It's kind of like being back in school. So if you want to pull that out, I think it's on your right side maybe. Not all of them? Okay, sorry, some of them. I know I've seen them. If not, you'll have to use your lap. Okay, so to talk about what we're going to go through is we're going to go through the 8-week work plan. I'm going to spend just a little bit of time reviewing some of the best practices that we went over in the other boot camps. We're going to talk about the timeline and how to make the most of your plan. I'm also going to spend a few minutes talking about what the Community Foundation is doing to get the word out about iHeartOC. So as we've mentioned several times, it is your job to get the word out about your organization and that you're participating in iHeartOC. It's our responsibility and our wonderful community partners to get the word out about iHeartOC. So I want to share with you a little bit about that, and then we'll have Anna and Chelsea come up and take you through the marketing toolkit. So if you have questions that come along the way, feel free to ask at any time. Okay, so before we get into anything, since you guys are all on Wi-Fi now. Oh, it's not working. Okay. Maybe we have too many people. So those of you that are on, it's okay. We're going to go through everything, and Chelsea's going to show you how. How many of you have joined the iHeartOC Giving Day Learning Community? Okay, so maybe about a quarter or a third. I really, really want to encourage you to join this learning community. All you have to do is go to Facebook and search for iHeart, spelled out OC, Giving Day Learning Community. If you have your phone and you're not on Wi-Fi, but you're using data, you can do that right now. This is a great platform to share ideas and encourage each other. It's also a place where Reveille and the Community Foundation are going to be posting ideas, creative things that we see happening out there. If people have a question and we think it's something that everybody wants to know, we're going to share it on the learning community. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to join this. All you have to do is go there and say, I'd like to join this group. Again, it's iHeartoc Giving Day Learning Community. You can find it on Facebook. I promise when I get back to the office, I will approve all of you. I'm the approver, so. Okay, so let's make this a real, we put this together for you, so I hope that you'll take advantage of it. And we've been, in the newsletter, you should see information on it also. Okay, so these are just some basic terms. We've got preparation, planning, staffing, tools, implementation, and timing. And I wanted to put them up there just to kind of give you a little bit of the idea behind the work plan. So these are things that the work plan is supposed to do for you. It's the preparation, it's the planning. These are the things that you need to be thinking about for Giving Day if you're not already thinking about that. So it has a lot of checklist items each week. And don't worry if you're, an overachiever like I know many of you are. You don't have to wait till that week to take care of those, but it's just a reminder to catch everything that needs to be done before Giving Day. Okay, so that's the idea behind the work plan. We really hope that you'll take it and you'll use it. This is already on iheartoc Toolkit, so you can download more copies of these. You can use it, and fill it in online at your office. So, but I wanted you all to have a copy while we're here today. So just to talk here's an overview of the timeline, and you can see that we're working backwards. So week 8 is actually next week, working down to week 1, which is an extended week because Giving Day falls in the middle of the week, so it's about a week and a half, down to iheartoc, down to post iheartoc. Every week has a little bit of a theme, so plan, tease, soft marketing. We're really going to spend a lot of time talking about soft marketing and heavy marketing. What's the difference? How should you be approaching your audiences during those times? So this is the timeline, and I am going to take you through each of the checklists. I'm not going to go over everything, but again, I'll always direct you to the page so you know where I am. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just review very quickly some of the best practices that came out of our boot camp. So the first one, which was done by Reveille, they did an amazing job, was social media. So these are some of the things that you want to do. This is on page 1 of your workbook, which is the inside cover. I was saving paper here and copying double-sided. So we found out last year that Facebook and emails were the #1 referral sources to Giving Day. So you definitely want to be engaged with those social media sites. But there's other ones as well. There's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's LinkedIn, there's YouTube. So, think about what social media platforms you want to use. You also want to plan your messages. We talked a lot about this in our social media bootcamp. You want to make them fun. You want to use photos, right? So if a Facebook post has a photo, it's a lot more likely to get shared or get liked than if you just make a comment. Use videos. One of the things we shared with you is that this year you're going to have the ability to have a video on your donation page. The way that you get that loaded is you update that video to your Nonprofit Central profile. So you all know that you can have a video in your Nonprofit Central profile. We need you to load it there. We'll go ahead and approve that change, and then when we do the export to the Giving Day site, that video will be on your page. Question?
Can you just have one video on your profile?
Yes, for the most part, yeah. Choose the one that you want to show, and then make sure that that's on your Nonprofit Central profile, and we will export it to your Giving Day donation page. Yes?
Is there a link?
Well, so no. Right now you could have a video of any length, but I would say think about who your audience is on Giving Day. You really want it to be short, right? I would suggest that this be a Giving Day video. I would say 15 to 30 seconds is probably what you want to shoot for. If it's a minute, you have to think about what the attention span of your audience is. So you might have some longer videos that you could send out as part of your campaign. Any other questions on the video? Yes?
So if we want to do just the Giving Day video, can we switch to our regular PSA after the fact?
Of course. You can, on Nonprofit Central, you have the ability to change your data fields anytime. So you just log in, and then you would put your regular video back, and we'll go ahead and approve that change for you. I hope you'll take advantage of this. This is it's great to have a video to email out there, but to also have on your donation page. What? Yes, sorry.
About the video, did we ever come to a conclusion about LinkedIn as one of the social media?
I have not completed that. So I will, what we would do on LinkedIn is just create an event. And I've asked our marketing department to do that, but I haven't heard back. So I'll take that back. And the other thing you want to think about in your posts is that you tell a story of impact. We talked a lot about that. Talk succinctly, talk about the solution or the impact your organization is making, not about the problem. We're going to make this fun, so we've got several social media challenges that you can read about in the back of your work plan. You don't need to do it right now, but when you get back to your office. The other thing you want to do is think about your staffing for your social media plan. So, I'm not super savvy on social media, so if I were in charge of this campaign, I would be probably calling my kids. So you want to bring in whoever's going to help you, whether it's staff, volunteers, great opportunity like we talked about to get a college intern to help you, relatives, whoever is, great with social media. And just think about what tools you'll need, especially the day of. If you're going to be doing an event, make sure that you have internet access and wireless, and are you going to have tablets and those types of things. So those are the things you want to think about on social media. Any questions? Okay. And again, you can go back and look at the boot camp online. So the second boot camp we had was board engagement. This was really exciting. We had a lot of board members in the room. You can find this on page 2 in your work plan. So the takeaway from there is, if possible, you each have a team a team captain that's responsible for leading the effort for your organization. See if you can enlist a board member as the board captain for your campaign, so they can really be the liaison to communicate how the board can get involved. And I want you to all think about what Julie taught us about ambassadors, advocates, and askers. Think about your board and how you can engage them in whichever type of activity they, would be a good fit for them. You also want to set a goal for board involvement. So you're thinking about outreach, giving, and thanking. A board member should be able to do one of those 3 things, right? If they don't feel comfortable doing outreach and they don't feel comfortable asking their network to give, they certainly could do a thank you. So think about how to use your board and set goals. You also want to set a goal for the dollars and the number of people that your board is going to outreach to. So not your organization goals. This is your board goals. So who are they going to reach out to within the organization's database? And then who are they going to reach out to in your network? And I would make a note, not just your network, but how about their network, right? We talked about this, that circle of going outside beyond your database. The other thing we provided for you was something called an IDP, or the Individual Development Plan. It's a 1-page document specifically made for Giving Day. I highly suggest that you either your board captain or your team captain go through this with each board member and see how you can get them involved. And just be creative, right? Okay. The last boot camp we had was last week on donor cultivation. This is in your work plan on page 3 and 4. So we spent quite a bit of time talking about your data from last year. How many in the room participated in Giving Day last year? All right, good. Looks like close to half. So for those of you that participated last year, it's really important that you drop that donor link into your browser and pull up that donor information if you haven't done so already. From that, you can see how many donors you had, what the average size of your gift was, how many were new donors. You really want to have a feel for that as you're planning for this year. The other thing you want to do is you want to determine how are you going to engage your current donor base. So that might not be somebody from Giving Day, but these are donors that know you, believe in what you do, and they give to you maybe on an ongoing basis or every once in a while. When you're thinking about that, you want to think about not just asking them to give, but asking them to share with their networks about the opportunity to support you. So I would say, hey, I'm really passionate about the Pet Rescue Center, because I adopted my dog Pepper there, and I think they're a great organization, and I hope you'll, and I could go out to a few of my friends and say, will you join me in supporting them on Giving Day? Also, we talked a lot about how to acquire new audiences, and very importantly, I think we overstated this maybe, but I don't think you can ever overstate the importance of thank yous. You want to think about how are you going to thank donors during Giving Day? And the way that you're going to be able to do that effectively is by using that donation link. We'll talk a little bit more about that. And as you're planning, document how you're going to steward these donors after Giving Day. So for those of you that were at the previous boot camps, we shared that 38% of donors last year self-identified as a new donor to that organization. That's incredible. So this is not about going out to your same donors that you go to for every single thing. This is about figuring out ways to find new audiences. But then once you bring them into your world, you want to keep them and steward them. So make sure that you document your what are you going to do after Giving Day? Any questions? Okay, so I'm going to talk now about communication tools. That's on page 6 of your work plan. So the first thing you want to do is kind of see what you already use. So think about what communication tools you use in your organization. Do you use email, phone, personal meetings, mailers, newsletters, social media, website? Do you have events? Think about those. But also look at what tools you don't use where Giving Day might be a great way to initiate a new tool. So look at what you have. Look at what you're not using and see if it's a good idea to maybe implement a new tool. And real easy is to add a quick message about iheartoc to the communication that you already have or you use. So when Anna and Chelsea get up here, they're going to share a lot of little graphics with you. And it's as easy as your email signature. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Changing your email signature. It's not saying, hey, give to me. It's just showing people that you're participating. So start putting those little messages about iheartoc into your current communications. So with everyone that's here today, is there anyone that's going to be using social media in the fundraising campaign specifically for the first time this year, where iheartoc is the first time you've ever done this? Okay, so that's a good amount. And I know that this is going to be a learning experience for you. It's really going to help stretch you and help you to engage with a new audience. And I know that that can be a little bit scary, but I think we've given you some great tools to do that. But what I do want to emphasize is that this is a virtual event, right? This all takes place at iheartoc.org. So your communication tools need to be virtual as well. So if all you're doing is sending out a newsletter USPS, you need to think about that number 2. What virtual communication tools can you implement that'll help you reach broader audiences? Does that make sense? Okay. So, I think at the minimum, you should be on Facebook. We'd love to see you, using Twitter or Instagram, but at a minimum, you should be using, because these were the 2 top referrals last year, Facebook and email. All right? All right, I'm going to spend a little bit more time talking about goal setting because we haven't really talked about this in our boot camps. This is on page 5 and 7. I know that doesn't make sense, but the work plan got copied and it was out of order, so. So page 5 and 7. So the first thing you want to think about is your financial goal for iheartoc. So this is going to be a little bit easier probably for organizations that participated last year because you can look at what you raised last year and you can look at the number of donors you had last year and you can think about what % do I want to grow that in 2016. And we're going to talk, I'm going to give you some math examples of how you can really nail this down. But the other thing is, what other goals do you have? Maybe for those of you that have never used social media and fundraising, number 1 is just to do it, and number 2 is let's see if we can make this a practice. Because once somebody gives online, if you steward them, they will tend to give again. And as we mentioned in the orientation, online giving is growing, and so you need to learn how to do it. Maybe another goal that you have is partnering with a business in your area. letting them know about what you do and seeing if they can be an ongoing partner, or perhaps partnering with a nonprofit. So think about what other goals you have besides the financial goals and the number of donors. The other thing that we need to make sure is that your goals are measurable. So I think we all have this in our business every day when we have these lofty goals, but you need to make sure that they're measurable and realistic. So think about the tools and resources that you have, your staff, your board, your volunteer, your social media knowledge, and be realistic when you're setting your goals. So if you're an all-volunteer organization and you're depending on volunteers and a volunteer board, don't set your goals too lofty. So talk about it as a group and think about it so that you're not disappointed and that you can achieve your goals. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of math for you here. So this is a goal-setting example. Other community foundations, so this is our second year, so we haven't really been through a growth period yet. So we looked at what other community foundations across the country see, and they told us that they see anywhere from a 25 to 100% increase in the number of donors between year 1 and 2. So for us as a community foundation, we had over 6,000 donors last year. Those are unique donors. So that would get us to 12,000 this year. If we grow our donors to 12,000, we are going to way over exceed the amount of revenue that we raised for our Orange County nonprofits in year 2. And we feel confident that last year was a learning year, and now we're providing you with so much more information to help you plan your campaigns that we can be successful. So you want to think about what's realistic for you. So here's a nonprofit. Their average donation last year was $50, and they had 50 donors. So last year, before the bonus pool, they raised $2,500. So this year, if they said, okay, our goal is to increase our donors, remember, we're talking about number of donors, by 50%, which I think is pretty conservative based off the tools that we've given you. That means that if they still kept their average donation of $50 and now they have 75 donors, they're going to raise $3,750. So they've increased their revenue by 50% before the bonus fund pools are even applied. So the key takeaway here is the number of donations, okay? This is how you're going to raise more money in 2016 and why we've spent a lot of time giving you ideas on how to do this through our trainings. So how to attract new audiences, how to get outside your network, how to get new prospects. Increase in donors equals increase in results. And we're very excited, and we know you guys are going to do a great job on this. The next thing I wanted to talk about is some ideas on what you can do, just a tactic that you might want to take to be able to walk into Giving Day with kind of a feeling of where you're starting, okay? So, I don't know if commitment's the right word, but we have relationships with donors, and what I would say is take that list of people that gave to you last year, as well as that list of your donors that support you regularly, and take a list of 10 to 25 donors, or maybe you split this up with your board, and you give them a call. And if they gave to you last year, you would say, hey, thank you so much for participating in iheartoc last year. We had such a great year. We raised this money and we were able to do X, Y, and Z with it. We're really excited to participate this year, and we'd love if you would give to us again. Would you consider giving to us again? And if they respond positively, then you go to the next step, which is saying, hey, we know you're passionate about what we do. It would be so wonderful if you wouldn't mind reaching out to some people in your network, maybe 2, 3, 4 people, and see if they would be interested in giving to us on Giving Day and helping to share the news about what our mission is. So what this allows you to do is, if you can collect that information, and maybe you just do it with your board, you guys have to feel what's comfortable for you. On April 27th and 28th, you'll have an idea of where you're going to start. So you kind of will know what your numbers would potentially look like. And I would say also with those donors that you're talking to ahead of time, it would be great to encourage them to give early. Because the organizations that got started early and got the momentum going, they really succeeded last year. So you don't want to wait till 7 o'clock on April 27th to send your first email, right? Any questions on goal setting? Okay. Sorry, I can't see you. Yeah.
If this is our first year, but we have a donor pool in Orange County,
Mm-hmm.
would you encourage us to do the same thing, saying, hey, this is gonna be our first year?
Yeah, I mean, I would especially to donors that you have good relationships with, you could reach out to them and have that conversation.
Okay.
And, you even could just say, could you help us spread the word? So if you don't feel comfortable asking them, just say, we'd love for you to give, but we really would love for you to share the word with your networks.
And I just had another idea, and I don't know if this is kosher or not, but if it's an organization, can we ask them, hey, can you post our flyers? Or
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah, however you can spread the word. Any other thoughts or ideas about that? Okay, so now I'm going to get into the 8-week work plan. And this is really where you're going to determine your plan, your goals, you're going to write them down, and it's a record-keeping document to help you keep things organized, right? I know we all work in different ways, but hopefully this checklist will work for you. So week 8, which is next week, by the way, so we are getting close to Giving Day, is kind of, it's really all about meeting, planning, and discussing. So I'm not going to go over the full list. This is on page 8 of your work plan, by the way, if you want to turn to page 8. You guys have to remind me if I forget about that. So, so you want to set weekly meetings at least once a week as whoever's involved, whether it's your team captain or your staff, you want to be meeting and touching base and ensuring that the items are being completed. Okay, so make that a new habit. If you are going to design and print some materials, this would be the time to design them. Anna and Chelsea are going to go over a flyer that we've developed for you that you can customize. But if you were going to go have some printed or do something different, this is the time when you want to be thinking about that. This is also time to look at the prize challenges and decide which ones do we think would resonate with our donors. Do we want to go after number of donors, or do we want to go after a certain time period where we can rally our donors around a certain time period? I'm going to talk a little bit more about the prizes at the end. This is also a good time to look at that donor data, who gave last year, but also just your donor base and how, who you want to outreach to, and create that strategy. And remember, don't forget about volunteers, right? We want to engage volunteers as need be. Okay, so that's week 8. That's next week. Week 7 is kind of all about teasers and preparation. So make sure by week 7 that you take the time to very thoroughly go through the marketing toolkit, which Anna and Chelsea are going to go over today, and take a look at the graphic assets that we have available to you. You're going to see which ones might work well for your organization. We talked about deciding on those communication tools. So which communication tools are you going to use? If you are going to partner with a local business or try to partner with a local business, this is the perfect time to go out there. And again, what I said last week was, where do you guys all go eat lunch, every day around your office? Or who does your printing? Or who else services, who else do you pay, to run in the operations of your nonprofit that you can ask to support you that day? So it's a great time to reach out to local businesses. I gave some examples last week on what you could ask. So for instance, a restaurant. I see this all the time with PTAs and sports clubs. Ask if they would put flyers up for you or have flyers available, and if they would give a % of their proceeds to you. It wouldn't come through Giving Day, but it's another leverageable opportunity for you. So maybe they'd give 15% of their proceeds to you that day. So a great way to partner together. This is a nice time to put a logo on your email signature just to make people slightly aware that you're involved. So we don't want you to go home today and start blasting every communication you have and start sending out emails because it's too early. This is about building momentum as we get closer and closer to Giving Day. So, think about that, but changing your email signature is a nice way to start. You notice at the Community Foundation, we changed our email signature quite a while ago, because this is all we think about. How many of you have a board meeting coming up? Okay. And for those of you that have a board meeting before Giving Day, is it your only one before Giving Day? Can you raise your hand if it's your only one? Okay, and what about ones that have monthly ones? So we kind of have both, right? So for those of you that only have one board meeting between now and Giving Day, you need to make sure that at that board meeting, Giving Day is a priority agenda item. Don't leave it till the end of the meeting. It should be the first thing you talk about. Be talking about those ambassadors, advocates, and askers, getting them involved with your plan. I can't emphasize enough. If you have one meeting, make sure this is a priority to discuss. For those of you that have a few meetings before Giving Day, you want to make sure that you share the plan with them, what the expectations of the board involvement are, and then help them see the progress as you get closer. Now, likely you might only have two meetings before Giving Day, but you also have email, so you can keep them involved via that way, or maybe you have a subcommittee that's your Giving Day committee. Okay, so week 6, don't you love him? I love dogs. Is preparing for the soft marketing launch. So this is, if you're going to get a volunteer or an intern involved for social media, this would be a great time to do so. And also, just FYI, in the back, we have this little chart here where you can assign the name of staff or volunteers, what their role is, and what their tasks are. So this is something you can use as you're planning your day. This is page 10, by the way. I'm not doing a very good job of that, sorry. So you really want to be preparing your social media campaign here. You want to start laying out your plan. Think about what your messaging is, what memes are you going to use, what photos are you going to use, what video, you want to have your video. If you're thinking about having an event, this would be a good time to plan it. If you're thinking about partnering with another nonprofit, you want to start thinking about that as well. This is what you want to be doing as you're preparing for the soft launch. So that's week 6. So week 5 is on page 11, and that is our soft marketing launch. He's off. So I want to talk a little bit about what soft marketing is. It is definitely a more targeted marketing. So you don't want to go crazy. You don't want to saturate the market with your message. And I think we'll talk about this as they get into the work plan and that little checklist that we gave you when you walked in. You want to start slow, because if you just start saturating the market like every other day with iHeartOC, you're going to burn your audience out. And we did get some feedback last year that, oh my gosh, this organization blasted me too much and I was sick of it. So we need to be strategic about the messaging that you use and really be thoughtful about it. So what are you going to do and what's the timing of it, and being strategic about the mix. So one might be an email, and then maybe the next week you do a Facebook post, those types of things. So we don't want to saturate the market. Other thing you want to do during this week is just check back to your previous steps from the last few weeks. Have you checked off what you wanted to do? And this is when we're also going to be having, within those couple weeks, we'll be having the iheartoc.org technical training. So this is going to be for your team captain. So your team captain is going to participate in the technical training. It is a webinar. So if you're not the team captain, you want to participate, just get in the room with them. But this is where we teach you how to use the iHeartOC website. You're going to learn how it works. You're going to learn how to direct people to your page. So remember, if you don't remember, you are going to have a link directly to your own donation page that lives on iHeartOC. And so you want to be able to hyperlink people, through your messaging directly to your donation page. All right, so we'll talk to you about that. Yes, I have a question?
Did I miss the date, or is it just going to be?
We don't have the dates confirmed yet, but it'll be in that time frame. Yeah. I'm working with our technical partner, Kimbia, and we'll get those invitations out soon. We're going to offer, I think, 2 of them, and then we'll also tape it so that if you can't participate. So you do not want to miss that, okay? The other thing that we're looking at doing is doing a short little video on how to give that we'll produce, and we'll give that out to you. So you'll have that link if you want to share it with your audience for people that might not understand how to give online. Any questions about the technical training? Okay. Yes.
So, I have a question. We received a lot of inquiries last year about people's donor database wanting to walk in checks.
Okay, good question.
Can we take those?
Okay.
Is there anything different this year?
So the question was about the ability for people to pay by check. So I think I mentioned last week that we are working through a process to be able to accept checks ahead of time. It wouldn't be on the day of Giving Day, from private foundations and or other donor advised companies, like a Vanguard. So we're in the process of putting that information together. So if you have a donor that has a private foundation and they want to give by check, we should be able to accommodate that this year. We're not going to be taking checks the day of where somebody walks in, because we don't know them, and we can't take a check that we don't know is valid. But this is an opportunity also, hold on one moment, I'll be back to you and you, that we also are going to have a match opportunity this year on your donation page. We talked about this a couple times. This is an opportunity for you to leverage the day even more by listing an additional match opportunity. So perhaps you have a donor that isn't comfortable giving online, or perhaps you have a board member that really wants to boost donations for the day, and they say, hey, I'll give you, $2,000 or $5,000 if you can raise that amount on Giving Day, or I'll give you dollar to dollar that amount if you can raise that amount on Giving Day. So those are also opportunities for you to increase the leverage of the day. So remember, the Community Foundation is providing a bonus pool, which means that every dollar given that day is going to be leveraged, and we're providing the prizes. So this is a really great day, great way for you to raise money, because you're going to earn more than you would if somebody just wrote you a check and it's unrestricted. But whatever you can do to increase the leverageability of this day, you might as well take advantage of it. So that whether that's partnering with a restaurant or another business, or offering a match opportunity, I highly recommend that you do that. If you have a match opportunity, we just need you to email us at ocnonprofitcentral@oc-cf.org. We'll put this on the newsletter and on the Learning Day community site, so you don't have to write it down. You need to let us know, because we will put that information on your donation page. You don't have the capability to do that, so you just need to let us know. Yes?
This may be more offline, but you talked about events, fundraising events prior to. So is it my understanding that you would make money at these fundraising events prior to, turn those into a gift card or a Visa card, and then apply it on the day?
Yeah, I think that's what one of the organizations is a way to help here. Is Marla here? I think she is. What they did, because their donors do these cash fundraisers, so they had cash fundraisers ahead of time, and I don't know if the person then just gave online, or used their credit card. I'm not sure what they did, but you could do that, and that was really successful for them. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So in addition to the, obviously, you can sort of justify the security piece, and then also the matching opportunity and making more money, are there any other things that we can say to sort of counteract the I don't want to donate online argument, either from a large donor or even just an everyday $100 donor?
Right. Well, I mean, it is an online campaign, so you could say, I really understand that if you don't feel comfortable, we'd still appreciate the donation, and have them bring a check to you that day. And then it's even more. But the only way it's going to apply toward the bonus pool is through online, or if it was like, private foundation that came in ahead of time. So
Oh, sorry.
for
Just a comment about the event prior. Like it's just a question of timing, but we actually have an event with a chain of restaurants in Orange County the week prior to Giving Day. And I think the plan is going to be, once we get that check from them, we're just going to convert it and then donate it online. Have one of our folks donate it online. That like the second Giving Day starts should be a decent amount of money that hopefully, to your point, kind of drives up momentum.
Right, that's a great idea to do it ahead of time. Any other questions on that? I know, yes, sorry.
I'm new to this year, so does the online take PayPal as well for like bank accounts, or is it just?
It's just credit cards, yeah. And this year, the donors will have the capability to cover, so we're not, just FYI for those of you that are new, the Community Foundation is not charging for this. So this is our gift to the community, our gift to our nonprofit. So we're providing the technology, we're providing the training, we're providing the bonus pool, we're providing the prizes. But there are vendor fees. So there's vendor fees and credit card fees. Last year, they ran about 5.5%. This year, we're going to give nonprofit, just a moment, we're going to give donors the capability to cover that cost for you. We've talked to other community foundations that have implemented this, and it was really successful. They found that over 30% of donors did cover the fees, meaning that you'll have more money in your pocket. Yes?
If people aren't comfortable online and want to bring a check in or whatever, can't we just use our credit card and?
Sure. You could. So the question was if they had a donor that wasn't comfortable, if they brought a check ahead of time, could they then turn around and make a credit card donation? Certainly. Any other questions? Okay. This is also, let's see, what am I on here? Week 5, sophomore. Oh, I went ahead of myself. Okay. We're going to go on to week 4, which is page 12. This is where you're continuing to do soft marketing. You want to check in with your board. They have their assignments. They've got their marching orders, and you just want to check in and see how they're doing. It's a good time to get invitations out if you're going to do a day of event. And this would be a great time to start to meet with your potential donors and have those conversations like we talked about earlier. Talk about your organization's involvement and how they can help spread the word. Okay, week 3 is preparing for the heavy marketing blitz. This is where you want to be customizing and scheduling your emails. This is page 13. You want to finalize your social media plan and have your messages and everything ready to go. You want to, if you're using Constant Contact or, what's it called? MailChimp. You can you tell this is not my thing? You can schedule emails ahead of time. So you want to be doing that. You don't want to be thinking about this at 6 a.m. on Giving Day. Oh my gosh, I need to email this group. I need to email this group. You want to have thought about this. So prepare for that ahead of time. Finalize any plans you have with your partners. And week 2, we go into heavy marketing. So this is where we get more into saturation. You want to change your social media graphics. You want to begin sending those emails. And one thing you need to think about, especially if you're sending emails from your email versus using one of those services like Constant Contact, is you don't want it to get sent to spam. So be conscious of what the title of the email is and how many people you're sending it to. The subject line.
Subject line. So if you're using a database software like Constant Contact or MailChimp, that software will help manage that for you. They'll tell you if your subject line is good or bad or what can happen, how many got bounced back and stuff. But if you're doing a personal send from your email, which we do recommend that, you just have to be very mindful of the subject line and how many recipients you BCC on an email. It's all based on how your firewalls are set up, but you don't want to get blacklisted, you don't want to get spammed, you don't want anything like that to happen. So if you want to send to like 1,000 people, do it in batches, break them up. Big words are, you never want to put free in a subject line. That's a big no-no. Anytime we use the word money, it needs to have descriptors around it, because you just put money, it may sound like a gimmick or a scam, and then it'll get spammed as well.
Did you guys hear that in the back? So, good.
I'm very loud.
Yeah. Did I have a question in the very back, or are we good? Okay. Also, when you start getting into the heavy marketing, just be choosy on how you mix and match your strategies. You also could have a kickoff event just to get people excited about it. And this is the week, April 11th, when we're going to start our Nonprofit Central Challenge. So Nonprofit Central, your profile is a great tool to introduce people to your organization that don't know about you. Last year we had a contest, but it was just during Giving Day. This year we're expanding it so you can get people to go to your Nonprofit Central profile during that 2 weeks ahead of time and during Giving Day, and whoever gets the most views will get I think it's $1,000. Okay, week 1, which is kind of a week and a half because Giving Day is on a Wednesday, page 15. The thing I want to emphasize here is to make sure that you have your donor data link. So remember, there's 2 links we're giving you. One is your donation page, which we talked about. The other one is your donor data link. Please treat this like gold. We individually email this to all of you because it is personal information to your organization. It's going to your team captain. If your team captain has changed, you need to let us know. You know how important we feel this is. This is a tool that you're going to use to help increase your giving during Giving Day. Please do not call us during Giving Day to ask us for your link. Guess what? We're going to be kind of busy, and we had lots of calls last year. Treat this like gold. So take care of it because you can use it constantly during the day to look at what you're doing. Finalize your day of events the night before. I don't know, have a margarita and say, woohoo, we're going tomorrow. And schedule those social media posts before you go to bed so that they start bright and early.
Carol,
Yes?
do we have the donor link already?
No. You will be receiving the donor link and the donation page link at the beginning of April, probably by about the 8th. All right, page 16. Woohoo! We made it. It's April 27th. Here are some suggestions. First of all, I'm just going to say have your plan in place and divide and conquer. Make sure you're sharing those responsibilities between your staff, your board, and volunteers. Kick it off with a bang. Get on the leaderboard early. I can't emphasize enough how much fun that'll be. If you're doing some personal outreach, it's time to pound the pavement. Remember to go after those prizes that you decided to go after. Stay in contact with your board. Stay on social media. Check that donor link every hour. We don't expect you to check in the middle of the night, but make sure that you're able to thank people, and don't lose momentum on day 2. Choose a prize on day 2 that you want to go after so you keep your donors engaged and finish strong. And the other thing I was going to recommend is just that you stay in touch via the learning community. Great way to encourage and keep each other motivated during Giving Day. All right. This is how I felt last year. I was tired. Oh gosh, just so tired. And you will be too. But there's some things that you want to do to take advantage of what you just accomplished. Page 17, post iHeartOC Giving Day. Obviously get some rest. Download that donor data. And I recommend that you download it right after the event, but go ahead about 2 weeks later and download it again. There were some people that gave twice by mistake last year to this. You'll probably notice this if you get like a double donation from the same donor, that it might be a mistake. So we will do some credits, if there's mistakes that a donor makes. So make sure you look at your donor link again. Implement that thank you plan. Thank your business partners, your nonprofit partners, and then sending an update to everyone. I got a few of these last year to people that I gave to, and that was really fun. Say, hey, we did it. Here's what we earned, and blah, 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 blah. Here's the prizes we won. So good thing. All right, I'm going to do this real quickly because I want to get Reveille up here in about 3 minutes. But here is some of the, as I said, we're out there. We're meeting with sponsors and working with community partners to get the word out about Giving Day. This is some of the messaging that we're using. Join us on April 27th, 30 hours to give where your heart lives. Help create a stronger, more vibrant Orange County for all those that call it home. Support the exemplary work of Orange County nonprofits. Anyone with a credit card can donate. Get social and show your love with iHeartOC. Yes? It's in the presentation, which will be on the website. Yeah, okay? So, and we're going to review there is some messaging in the toolkit too, but that's some of the messaging we'll be using. And these are our community partners so far. We're super excited. We have the Register on board this year. We also, as in last year, have Cox Communications and PBS SoCal, which are going to help us get the word out with our video that Anna's going to talk about. Angels Baseball is on board again. They did a lot of, we were on the Big A, and they're going to give us some time at a baseball game. There happens to be a baseball game on the 27th. The Irvine Company retail properties, they're going to be helping us spread the word and also post at I think it's at Fashion Island and Irvine Spectrum, the Orange County Business Journal. Greer's Orange County is a blogger that we're going to be working with. The Modern Luxury is a Riviera magazine. So So this is what we have so far. We're still working on this, but we're very excited to get the word out. Prize challenges, these are in the back of your work plan, page 18 through 20. What you have there is really a sneak peek at the prize challenges that are going to be available to you during iHeartOC Giving Day. It's a really great way to target your communications, and it gives you an additional opportunity to raise unrestricted funds. I just want to let you know these prize challenges are subject to change based on the final bonus and prize pool funds. So we're still in the process of fundraising, and we're looking good. So but I just want you to know that they could change. We will have, like last year, prizes by size, large and small. $750,000. If you're less than that, you're small. If you're bigger than that, you're large. You can see in the back, we've got time-based challenges. We've got some donor challenges, board challenges, social media challenges. We've got some top prizes, and the Golden Ticket Awards we're going to do again, which is really fun. Those are the random prizes. So my recommendation is to be strategic about this, and don't go for all of them because you won't win any of them probably, right? So build a strategy to win, get your board involved, see which one they're excited about, and go after those prizes, and let your donors know. Any questions before I pass it on to Reveille? Yes. Yeah, so you can go back and look at the orientation for how the match works. We do not know how that is going to go this year, right? Because it's dependent on what we, as all the nonprofits in Orange County, raise and what that bonus pool ends up being. We're thinking it's going to be similar to last year. It was about $400,000. That's our goal. Again, we're still finalizing that, but it's dependent on what we raise. Last year was actually higher than 25%.
Would there be a point that we could say, hey, last year we used the 25%-ish, just said, hey, we could be matched up to about 25%.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, because it's dependent on two things. So we're going to know what the bonus pool is, so at least you'll have that amount, but we're not going to know what you're going to raise.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
Last year, that was the thing.
Pardon?
I think what she's asking is, can we say your donation will be raised by X percent by?
No. You're not going to know ahead of time. I'm going to go over this one more time. There's two components. The bonus pool, we will know what the bonus pool is, so you can say we have a chance to increase our funds, but it's dependent on how much, how much we raise as a community. So if we raise $2 million, it's what, I don't have it in front of me, but it's in the orientation. If we raise $2.5 million, the match is going to be a little lower.
In other words, last year you gave us kind of a ballpark. Did you not give us a ballpark this year?
Yeah, I don't think we gave you a ballpark. We gave you examples.
Well, we gave an example, and we kind of said, hey,
Yeah.
it could go as high as.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the example that I would use would be what we did last year. So that would be, we had a bonus pool of $400,000 and we raised about $2 million. So I think that is 20 cents on the dollar.
Okay.
But, we're not going to say that that's what it's going to be this year because it's dependent on what you all go out and raise. Yes, yeah.
So for the match portion of it, basically we can secure that in-house, the match. We don't have to necessarily turn it in.
Correct.
Just tell you we have X dollars for
Yep.
the match, and then you guys kind of fix our profile.
Yep. Yeah, so she's talking about an outside match opportunity. We do not need the money. Do not give the money to the Orange County Community Foundation. Keep it in-house or keep that pledge from your donor in-house, and we'll just list it for you on your donation page. Yes?
I just have a comment about small versus large.
Mm-hmm.
We're about 50,000,
Yeah.
so that cutoff really puts us in with people.
Well, let me tell you about this. This is what we did to determine this is we took our, this is based off the budgets that are in Nonprofit Central, and that is our median. And I will tell you that organizations that did really well last year, some of them had $50,000 budgets. So just think about, think about what you have and what your resources is. Every single thing that you do this day is a benefit to your organization to leverage the giving that you're going to bring in. So we did the math again this year and we came up with the same number. Yes.
How do we know, where we are, like a, small group, a large group, or?
It's based off the budget that you gave us, your current fiscal year budget on Nonprofit Central, but it will be listed on the leaderboard.
Oh, it will?
Yeah.
So you kind of know how many others nonprofits are in that
Correct.
category?
Okay, any other quick questions? Because I want to pass it on to, this is the fun part. We're going to get into the marketing toolkit. And I'm here after, so if you have any more comments or concerns, feel free to talk to me.
What we're going to walk you through is your social media toolkit. So over the course of these last 3, now 4 weeks in these boot camps, we've been talking about assets, the tools you will be provided to help market and communicate what's going on and how to generate funds for Giving Day. So before we jump into the toolkit, all of you, if you haven't already, iheartoc.org. How many of you have been on the site? Okay, this is going to be your best friend. I'm sorry, it's really weird. I hear myself here and here and here. So iheartoc.org is going to be your best friend. You should bookmark this, save this, have it on your tablet, your phone, everywhere you go, starting now, if you hadn't already a week ago. This is going to be the home of everything we've talked about today. Any questions you have, you can find here. Assets you can find here. Videos you can find here. Everything. So if my good friend Chelsea, real quick, will click, before we get into the toolkit, you'll see in the navigation bar at the top, toolkit, right here. You just click on that. We're already on that page. Well, we were on that page. Oh, the signal just went off. So you'll click on Toolkit, and the toolkit will be downloadable for you to print out, as well as all of the assets that are mentioned in the toolkit are listed in folders on this site as well. And if the Wi-Fi comes back up, Chelsea will pull it up for us. Oh, perfect. Okay, can you just try to click? Yeah, it's thinking right there, toolkit, see? Oh, here it goes, it just registered. Perfect. So you see here, marketing toolkit. Scroll down and you will be able to download the toolkit right there. And then we have categorized for you all of your assets. Facebook, Instagram, and then your general marketing. So as we go through the toolkit next, this will give you a visual idea of where you're going to find everything for your use. Okay, any questions on this? This is live right now. All right, toolkit time. I have some Starbucks gift cards to give away. You guys are very quiet. Let me see. How many of you checked in or posted on Instagram where you were today? Very good. What was your comment?
I said that we were,
Go ahead. No.
I said we were excited to be at the final boot camp for iHeartOC, more details to come.
Very good. Gift card for that lady. And for you?
I said planning underway, #iHeartOC, #interfaith.
Fantastic. She gets one as well. Okay. If you didn't check in, you can check in right now. I promise we don't care if you're on your phone for a minute. All right, your toolkit. So the toolkit, go ahead and go to the next page because I've said toolkit 10 times now. Give where your heart lives. So this opening page basically is a summary of what the toolkit can do for you. It also talks about where to stay connected. A lot of this is repeat information from our first social media training, but the reason we put everything comprehensively here is we understand there are multiple hands and teams working on this. So if you print this out and hand it person over person over person, they're all getting the same information and they're all getting the same training. All right. Let's go through our marketing ideas. So number one, they're all numbered, so we'll be able to reference them, is your custom URL. Okay, Last year, when you guys got your custom URLs, we found they're long. They're long, right? Those are very long URLs. And we know that doesn't look very pretty, and sometimes people won't click on it. So we've provided resources for you this year to shrink those URLs. It's called a bit.ly link. How many of you know bit.ly? Very good. For those of you who do know it, congratulations. For those of you who don't worry. We have a checklist on our learning forum on Facebook on how to create a bit.ly link. The reason this is so important is in this day and age, people don't click on super long links that have a number and a percentage sign and a name and a dash. They look what? They look fake, right? They look like they're going to take you somewhere you're not supposed to be. So it's really important that when you're using your custom URL in any of your marketing materials digitally, you shrink that to a bit.ly link or you hyperlink it. Does everyone know what hyperlinking is? Yes, okay, perfect. Then number 2, we have our web banners. Many of us on our own websites or on our corporate partner websites or community partner websites have opportunity for banner ads. And a lot of times that's where philanthropic partners can donate advertising or donate support because it's pretty cheap and cost effective to throw a banner ad up on a website. So what we did was we created custom banners at a variety of sizes that you can use to share with your partners. So if you meet with Mr. and Mrs. X, Y, and Z from a corporation and they say, we would love to help, we'll promote you on our website. Well, now you'll have a banner you can send them. Done, created, ready to go. You just download it and send it off. But these can also be used on your website, in your newsletters, in community partner newsletters. Anywhere banner advertisements are available and you can secure, these are ready for you. Yes?
So, does it have a hyperlink to your donation?
It will. So this is just the asset, the graphic itself, and then once you share that or email it to whomever's going to place it, you will tell them, link it to this, and you give them your URL. If you're doing it internally, then you would put the URL in it. Yes. Any other questions? All right. Number 3, email. Carol talked a little bit about this, but I really can't reiterate enough and stress enough that email, your email signature is probably the best form of what we call passive but productive marketing. It's that subconscious reminder. We are emailing people hundreds of times a day, right? It's the thing we don't ever really turn off. Well, if we don't really turn it off, the people we're emailing to more than likely aren't either. So the more you can keep iHeartOC affiliated with your organization, your brand, the stronger the connection and the remembrance of wanting to give during the 30 hours will be. So like Carol said, if you don't do anything else today, you don't have to, but I would suggest we start doing this sooner rather than later. Now, some of you are probably thinking, well, I don't know how to change my email signature, or our organization doesn't let us put images in our email signature. We've created the text version and given you the tools for what's called an HTML version. So you have everything you need to either just put it in text or to work with an IT or tech department to put it in encoded. Does that make sense? Okay, perfect. Any questions on 1, 2, or 3? All right, we're going to 4. The next type of email is email newsletters or e-blasts. We have created a templated e-blast. It's an image. A lot of you used this last year. In fact, email was the #1 way we were receiving referrals as well as donations. We heard that loud and clear. So not only did we create the e-blast image here that tells people what to do and how to give, you will also be able to customize this. Everything we've created for you this year is customizable, but don't worry, we're going to show you how to do that in just a minute. The other thing about emails and e-blasts is they have to have variety. How many of you do e-blasts and emails right now? Okay, and they have a look and feel to them, right? The way your organization does it. What we need to do during Giving Day is we need to spice that up a little bit. Maybe you send this, but how many nonprofits are participating, Carol? 407 nonprofits are participating this year. That's a lot of nonprofits. That's a lot of nonprofits with the exact same image, right? And there's probably crossover in donors. There's crossover in corporations. If all everyone does is just send this one template that we gave them, are we really setting ourselves apart? Are we really differentiating our ask versus our neighbor's ask? So yes, you can use this one time, maybe 2 times, but you also need to use your own personality and your own character in this. Again, everything we're bringing to you this year for Giving Day is meant to complement and enhance your marketing efforts already. We don't want you to deviate from what you're doing. We want you to add into what you're doing. Any questions? Yes? You know, can we zoom in on this a little bit? Is it hard to read in the back? I'm going to let her do that while I keep talking, if that's okay, because I don't want to lose anyone, but you can download. You can just scroll like this if you want, Chelsea.
Better?
Is that better?
Okay, great.
We'll just scroll like this. Okay, so then when we get down to, we'll go back up to e-newsletter. The other thing in e-newsletters and e-blasts you can do is you can use the images and assets we've created and customize them into your e-blast. So if you put ads in your e-blast or reminder buttons, all of the assets we've given you can be incorporated into that. The power of your e-blast is also in your subject lines. So we gave you some sample subject lines, but again, customize, customize, customize. Instead of show us your love, show OCCF your love, show Animal Rescue your love, show Healthy Smiles your love. Whatever your organization may be, don't be afraid to remind them of who you are and why you want their money. Because at the end of the day, what are we asking them for? Money. Right. So let's just not be shy about that. Let's just ask them for it. Any questions on newsletter? Okay, number 5 is flyers. So this is new this year. We had some requests last year of people who were going to community events or doing community events or their own events and wanted to hand out flyers. So we created 2 versions of a flyer. We created a general Giving Day flyer that you can just print right off or have printed elsewhere. But we also created a version that you can insert your own branding into. As much as you want to personalize these materials, we've given you that opportunity. Carol talked a little bit about doing events. Events are very important and crucial to this process because it is all a digital platform and all of the ongoing communication and giving is online. Any face-to-face opportunity you can create will only enhance and increase giving because it's that relational, it's what we all do every day, right? It's that relational marketing. It's the opportunity to really explain the impact the dollars are going to have. How to explain to someone that a $25 gift could turn into a bonus pool prize. It's kind of, I mean, we're all understanding it because we're in the room and we still have questions. So any opportunity to have those face-to-face meetings, we highly recommend, and that's where these flyers come into play, so they don't leave empty-handed. Then we get into our good friends, social media. We have Facebook. How many of you know what your cover image is? Well, we have an image for you so that you can change it. We've mapped out when you should do this, but absolutely 100% your Facebook cover image needs to change. You also need to change your profile picture. We've created multiple versions for you, and the reason we create kind of a darker color palette versus a lighter color palette is you have to really select these assets based on what your coloring looks like in your organization. So if you have very dark colors on your Facebook page or dark colors on your website page, A stark white might be something so different when people come to your site that they'll see right away. So really take into consideration which one you're pulling down and how it will differentiate from all the other messages you're putting out right now. Facebook is, as we've talked about in social media, it's only as effective as much as you use it and how strategically you use it. So updating your images is certainly helpful, but the conversation has to continually keep going. We've provided some sample messaging that you can use, what we're calling thought starters, to help get the conversation going and help you to think about it. But as we talked about in the very first social media, we highly recommend you dedicate a little bit of time to kind of sit down and map out what you're going to want to say over the course of 8 weeks. You don't have to map out every single solitary post, but even over the 8 weeks, if you know generally how many times per week you're going to say what, it is going to, one, make your lives a lot easier, and two, it's really going to enhance the effectiveness. Any questions on Facebook? Yes.
When do you suggest changing the profile picture?
You know, we've made suggested in the weeks when you could change it, but honestly, you could change it now. OCCF has already changed theirs now, so, you know, no, we're not doing a big media blitz and announcing Giving Day, but there's chatter in the community, there's chatter about it, so it's okay to change it now. Any other questions on Facebook? It's kind of hard to see up there, so just yell at me if I don't see your hand go up. Oh.
Is Facebook still restricting the amount of copy?
As far as?
On your images?
On your images?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So we still have to be cautious of that.
Yeah, so, and you know, they have the 20% rule on their images, so yes. So, but that's on certain images. Other images, like the ones we've provided, well, the cover image follows the rules, the profile icons follow the rules. But if you're just posting an image to your feed, you have more flexibility.
For the headers and the...
Yes, yeah, they still have control over that.
Okay. And they usually let you know if you're...
Yeah, so there's a tool if you go, so what he's asking is there restrictions on how much copy we can put in these icons or in your cover profile? Yes, there is. If you go on facebook.com, there's tools where you can create a profile icon or image and create a cover image, and it'll tell you you're out of the parameters or you have too much copy. Yes?
It will work on your like iPads or Apple. You have to go to a desktop. On a desktop, it'll allow you to drag the image, so you can try to fit at least the word.
Right, exactly. It's a tactical tool that will let you, it'll tell you right away, and then you can crop or delete from there. Is there a question over here? I saw a hand. No? Okay. So you have Facebook, and then we move into Twitter. And Twitter really is conversation, conversation, conversation. You can change your icon. Yes, you can post images, but Twitter is more about reinforcing. Remember, Twitter is like a news feed, quick bits of information that you're sharing. So a great thing for Twitter could be if a donor provides a match and you take a pic and you tweet, hey, X, Y, and Z just said they're gonna give us $10,000 if you match the $10,000. Let's do this. Hashtag iheartoc. So kind of breaking quick bits of news, and then you're gonna support that in a lengthier conversation or lengthier post on Facebook. Any questions? How many of you use Twitter? Perfect, perfect. If you don't use Twitter, we do suggest you start. It doesn't have to be as robust, but it does need to be a supporting platform for this initiative. Then we have Instagram. So again, anything that you're gonna post on Instagram, you can post on Facebook. They're interchangeable, they're owned by the same company, they'll work in tandem together. So what we've created for you on Instagram are graphics. So we have up here our general graphics, show your love, to donate, kind of a very generic call to action, more of a question posed, what do you heart about OC? But then we really took your feedback seriously from last year. We understood that the graphics from last year were a little too child focused, kid focused, and not all of you represent children or serve children. Well, we have, again, 407 nonprofits represented. So what better way to let you represent what you do than through an icon categorized to your organization's service area and or let you put your own pictures in it. So what does that mean? So if you are an organization, you can pick from an array of categories. I heart rescue animals, I heart education, I heart veterans. Whatever it may be that is pertinent to your organization, you can find on iheartoc.org under assets. Well, if the words aren't enough for you and you want to just dazzle it up a little bit, we have an icon. So for animals, you have the paw print. For veterans, you may have a flag. For law, you may have a gavel. Whatever best represents. Now, these are also icons that have been used through the Community Foundation before, so they're not a foreign-looking icon to the overall nonprofit world. Does that make sense? Yes. So, good question. So, if you don't want to use one of these two, or if you use those two, you come here. This blank space right here is for you. You can drop in your logo, you can drop in a photo, or I'll do you one better. Drop in logo, drop in photo, and write whatever you want. All of this is available to all of you right now on iheartoc.com. But I know the big question that is in everyone's mind, I don't have a creative director. How am I going to do this? We don't have Photoshop. You know, this is a little time. Is that what's going through your heads? How many of you is that going through your head? You can admit it. It's okay. Well, that's why I brought Chelsea, because she's going to save the day for you.
Okay, it's iheartoc.org, by the way.
Did I say .com?
Yeah, we're so used to saying .com.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Okay, so in our first presentation, Anna told everyone, if you weren't here, you're going to learn about it today. She told everyone about Canva. Canva is this great online tool that works at just like Photoshop, basically. Excuse me. So what you can do is you can upload your own images and then change them. So what we've done is in this toolkit, this is probably going to be easier. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, I have a loud voice too. So what you can do is you can upload any of these assets and change them to your liking. What we've done is in this toolkit, you have a step-by-step guide on how to do this. But since you guys are the great ones that came to this training, you get a step-by-step tutorial on how to use Canva.
How many of you have used something like this before? Okay,
Great.
very good. Great.
Yeah,
It's
it
free.
is free. It's free. So I created a profile on here. It's really easy to do. You just need an email. And it takes you to this page that lets you choose from all sorts of design projects. It has the sizes pre-loaded in here for what you will need. They have everything from ads to Facebook headers to email headers, anything you could really want. They even have print sizes available for you as well. So we're going to do a social media post because those are the ones I had preloaded in for you guys. So if our internet works with us, we'll get there. So another thing to note is when you click on any of these, it gives you templates that you can take and customize with your own pictures as well. Some of them are free and others cost money. You can also get stock images in Canva. I think you pay about $1 for each one. So that's great, and you can use it as many times as you want. It's an easy and quick way to have it all in one place. So I already uploaded these, and it's really easy to upload. You just get it from the iheartoc.org site, and then you can just drag and drop it in here, and it uploads really quickly. So I came to uploads over here, and I am going to take this blank one, if I can get the computer to work, and just click on it and it drops in. So I'm going to want to size it correctly here. And I'm a Mac user, sorry. It's going to take me a second. It's not liking me today.
Just put it in. It's okay.
Just the divide between Mac and PC, it's so large. Okay, so you can go to text, you can add your own text. If you go to elements, you can type in anything. I'm going to type in dog because I'm looking at a beautiful dog here. And you can use any of these images. Sometimes you can find icons as well, and you just basically click on it and it shows up, and you can resize it to fit however you want. Yeah, the text, the text is great. It's the same thing. You can click on it, it adds it here. You can change the font, you can change the size, you can change color, all to your liking. So this is something that's great to use on your own as well after Giving Day as well. And also I wanted to note in some of these, you'll see, yeah, you can add your logo.
So a logo is like an image. So you're basically adding an image. So I know Chelsea's using the images she typed in for, but you can preload images from your own gallery. So if you have a bank of photos that your target market is used to seeing or resonates, you can use those photos. We actually encourage you to use some of those. So they have what we call brand consistency across all your materials.
So is it on their server then or in the cloud?
Go ahead.
It all loads to the website. So after you upload it here, it stays on your account in the website. So I don't know what happened to all my uploads. I think this internet is a little slow here. I had the OCCF logo loaded, but you basically can load it up here and it's going to stay on there. And so you can use it in any number of images that you want to create from here. Yes?
Is this an app or a website?
It's a website.
It is a website. Mine's coming up as an app.
Well, they have the app component, but it's a website that you can use. But the app can be on your phone, so if you need to do something on your phone, you can do it. Yeah, exactly. I think a thing to note here, that was a good question from Pat over there, is yes, they're all stored on Canva, but you can download any of them to your desktop or your F drive or S drive or whatever it is to save all the files you've created. And we actually encourage you to do that because we don't know what might happen to Canva any given day, but at least you have them saved.
Yeah, so up here you can just click download and it gives you different options for how you want to download them. You can do PDFs or high quality or for web images, or which the web image is going to be a little bit lower quality. Or you can email it to yourself or someone else if you want them to use it in something. Or if you want to email it to yourself so you have it on your phone to easily post that way, that works as well. It's really simple. The only thing I will say is for these, don't forget that you have the little your logo here. So if you need to go into elements and grab a shape to cover that up, you might want to do so if your logo doesn't have a color background. So that's an easy thing to do as well.
Yes.
Upload our photos or logo to Canva. I don't see an upload.
So it's over here.
Okay.
Show you, it's right on that side.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna click there and then you can take whatever photo you want and you can drag it and drop it into the screen, or you click upload your own images.
Okay, great.
And it takes you here. So there's multiple ways to do it. Yes?
I just wanted to say that marketing students probably aren't the only people that would gladly help nonprofits with this. You could easily find some graphic design or photography major students who could do this for you to snap.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Are there any other questions? Yes?
Will these size it for a WordPress banner?
They have options for, so if we go in here, They have, so you're talking for a website banner, for like a blog post banner?
Yeah, WordPress banners are just odd sizes and, yeah, they're long and you have to Photoshop them, which I can't do.
So there's a couple things you can do. If you know the sizing of it, you can actually create a design that's your own size, that is whatever size you'd like, which is great. They also have preloaded ones, so you could try one of those and see if it works. They have email headers. They have blog headers, I believe, too. So you might be able to use one of those.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a question down here, yes.
Is there a charge for the font?
For the fonts, no, there's not. If you wanted to use a specific font that they don't have, you might have to upload that or figure that out. I'm not sure, I haven't tried that yet. But they do, if I log out here, they have videos and lots of ways to get help, or you can click on need help over here and they could probably help you out if you needed to upload a font.
Is this a good resource? Great.
Okay.
All right. How many of you are going to go back and use it right now? Love it. All right. Perfect. All right. So unless there's any more questions on Canva, we're going to jump into everything else you can do. No? Okay. Yeah. So Chelsea's going to go back, and I'm just going to stand right here right now. So then this takes us, we've talked about the social images, we've talked about e-blasts, e-newsletters. Now we're going to get into number 10, which is really video. And we all know that video is a very powerful resource in this day and age for marketing. So right now our teams are currently working on producing the new video for 2016, which will be readily available for you mid-March. Basically, we're creating this year 15-second what we call Insta videos. And the reason we call them Insta videos is because Instagram is the one that has the 15-second rule, where it can be no longer than that. But it's also 15 seconds has been proven to be the effective amount of time to get across a marketing message. Yes, we still watch TV and we watch 30-second or 60-second commercials, but how many of you fast forward through those? Many of us. But our attention span, we can still hold it for 15 seconds. It scares me what that means for our children, but we can hold it for 15 seconds. So we're working on creating those videos. So we will provide some Insta videos and supporting videos for you. But we don't want your video endeavors to stop there. We really encourage you to have fun with this. I know we talked about this week 1, and if you weren't here, we did spend a good amount of time on this. But videos in this day and age are super easy to create. Whether you have a Galaxy, an iPhone, a Samsung, what all the different brands are out there, it's literally a point and shoot, and that's okay. We have become, as a society, very accustomed to more of the guerrilla style, grassroots type marketing videos. They don't have to be perfect. They just have to be well thought out. Meaning we know what we're going to say when we get on camera. Not a lot of uhs and ands and oh yeahs or and I meant to say, but really just practice a couple of times what you're going to say and point and shoot. Chelsea, do you have your phone up here?
No.
He's going to show them how simple it is. We're going to film Chelsea for a second.
Oh boy.
But do these. I encourage you to think creatively about this. You know, do you create a series? Do you take your CEO for the next 8 weeks or 6 weeks or 5 weeks or a leader director or a fundraising executive and you create a little short video series with them? You know, maybe it's like your daily dose of iHeartOC today. I know I asked you last week, but this week I'm going to tell you another reason why you should give. 15 seconds, done, and it can be part of your e-blast. It could be where if you're working with animals or working with children or in the environment, that you take videos of the environment. You go walk down at the beach and you show the beauty that exists in Orange County and why we need to save it. All of those things are highly acceptable, but not only that, they're highly effective. So literally, this is what you do. And I'm sure you've all done it, but I want to make you all feel very comfortable about this. I just went to my camera. I went to video. I'm not going to film Chelsea. See her hiding behind me. She's like, no, you're not filming me. You literally pick it up, you point and shoot. I'm filming right now. And I'm done. And I can click my phone and I can upload it. Done. Yeah, I should have turned my phone as I'm talking, but yeah, like this, point and shoot. With nothing in front of me, it got a little boring.
That was a test.
Horizontal. Yeah, she gets a Starbucks gift card. Horizontal, like this. Yes. Right here, the lady in the orange. How many of you are thinking about doing videos? How many of you have done videos? Okay, you can also use videos that you already have archived. If they're a little longer, use them on Facebook or clip them or cut them and use them on Instagram. But videos must play a key role in your marketing efforts in order to be able to communicate to all the demographics that we're serving. All right, and now we're going to get into the tried but true methods of marketing. Word of mouth. How many of you have heard this saying? Yeah. How many of you believe it's the most effective today? It really is. People will give, you all know this, you've heard this at so many fundraising seminars and webinars, but I can't reiterate it enough over my 20 plus years of experience in nonprofits. The way to really secure a donor, especially a new donor, especially virtually, is to be able to have some sort of conversation with them. Maybe it's not you personally, maybe it's through a board member, maybe it's through a volunteer, and that's one thing I'm going to stop on really quick. Let's not forget the power of our volunteers in this process. We've talked a lot about board engagement, we've talked a lot about our staff development, but a lot of you have a bank of volunteers. Even if you have 3 or 5 or 50, those are some of your best brand ambassadors, we like to call them. Arm them, have them film videos, have them go out and take pictures, but also have them tell their friends. Maybe you do a volunteer challenge in your organization where there's some big end of iHeartOC, bowling party if the volunteers can raise X amount of money. Don't be afraid to incentivize them and bring them as intricately in this mix as you do your board and your staff. And then we also have personal email campaigns. So we asked the question a little earlier about email. Yes, our email software systems are fantastic, but personal touches are a great way to keep the conversation going. Especially, as we all know, if you have a donor on the fence, you email them or you say hi to them or you happen to run into them at an event, right? This always happens. Well, what we can do is use personal emails. Maybe it is from your leadership team. Maybe it is from an alumni who's graduated from your program who wants to share their story. These personal touches are very effective because 1, it's not considered mass marketing, and 2, it's a way to personalize it to the end receiver. Yes, it is time consuming. Like Carol said, treat your donor links like gold because they're personally emailed to each and every one of you. Well, if you have a really good list of donors that you know are on the fence or pretty close to giving or have the bandwidth to give, create a custom email, congratulate them on their kids' graduation, find some information about them, and send it out. And yes, you attach something, one of the assets of Giving Day in that too. Voicemail. We all have voicemails on our cell phones, on our landlines. Change them. Change them to iHeartOC Giving Day. Make sure you talk about it on there. Put the dates, put iheartoc.org where they can go, encourage them to give. We all get people's voicemails, right? We're on the go. If you can change your cell phone voicemail, if it's through your organization, I strongly encourage you to do so as well. Talk about Giving Day, talk. Staff retreats, staff parties, team meetings, board meetings, whatever it may be, it should be the topic of conversation. It should be in your top 5 favorites starting now. And then really the last but not least is just be creative. Again, I've said it multiple times and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but iHeartOC Giving Day marketing materials are to enhance and be incorporated into your marketing, but have fun with it. We saw so many great new ideas that came out of last year, and those new great ideas were the ones who excelled the most. We look at moms, we look at Micah, some of the examples we showed in the last couple of sessions, because they really kind of stepped outside of what they traditionally do for marketing and added something new and had fun with it. So have fun with it. And then what we have for you in this toolkit is just kind of a cheat sheet snapshot. So if you're going to the Toolkit website and you don't know what to click on, we've categorized. We have general assets, we have badge assets, and we have cause-specific assets. So again, just a cheat sheet for you to share around your office. And then we did create some sample messaging for you. So what we did for you is we put it into categories. So for general messaging, these are, again, thought starters, and then some stuff for Twitter, some stuff for Instagram, and some stuff for Facebook. When you do your messaging, it's great to tell people things, but we are in essence a society that likes to feel included pretty quickly. So asking questions in your statements is a really good way to engage. But not only that, we are also in an instant gratification society, right? We want everything now, it's about us, and I don't mean that in a negative way. So what can you say in your messaging that makes that end user feel like they're making a difference? What can you say to them? Think about your organization, think about who you're supporting, and how can you put that onus and that power into the end reader's hands? Does that make sense? Anyone have an example of what they might say for their organization? I do have a Starbucks gift card. I love it. Every time I say Starbucks, hands go up. What would you say?
Do you love dance? If so, bring money here.
Yeah, so your dance organization, right? So I'm going to use this as an example because you were so brave to speak up, and I really appreciate it. Do you love dance? Or, so most of the people following you probably either know you're in dance or you're in groups that are surrounded by the industry of dance, correct? So, you know, dancing has many health benefits. One of them is saving children in Orange County, right? Or, you know, do you love dogs? You know, did you know petting a dog, you know, reduces your stress by X percentage? That's an immediate benefit to me, right? Even if I've never given to a dance organization or given to a pet organization, you're now telling me that by petting a dog, my stress level is going to go down, which I need very badly. And I do have a dog. He's not as well behaved as this beauty in here by any means. All right, so there's sample messaging for each platform as well as general messaging. You can craft these messages into your e-blasts, into your personal emails, even into your website. You know, we didn't get into updating your website because you all have your own restrictions, but you should have something on the homepage of your website. You can use these assets to put an image. If you can't get an image on there, put a big block of letters. But if someone doesn't find it on your Facebook page or they don't find it on OCCF, where are they going to go? Your website, right? So let's make sure that there's a strong representation there. Does everyone know what above the fold means on a website? Okay, basically it means that if you have your computer here, I'm being daring and touching this, so if everything crashes, if you have your computer here like this, and this is your screen, all of your pertinent information must be above the fold of the computer. It's an old saying, above the fold of a newspaper, but it should be as high up on the page as possible because the likelihood of someone scrolling and searching for it, unless they're bound and determined, is very low. So get them while they snap on your page real quickly, okay? Above the fold. New term for you guys? Very good. Okay. What did you say? I got it. All right, and so the last page of your kit is the handout that you received when you walked in. This is basically a calendar or schedule timeline, if you will, of how to start rolling out your soft and your heavy marketing. We completely understand that looking at this, there's no way you can do every single thing. And if you can, congratulations. If you can't, we completely understand. But we do strongly suggest you do some of it. So what I would like for you guys to do right now, we're just going to take like 3 quick minutes, read through this page and circle the things that you think you can do right now without giving it too much thought.
Just approved 40 people for the learning committee, so maybe you can plug in.
Oh, yeah. All right, I know some of you have to get back to work. We thank you so much for coming. I do want to strongly recommend that while you learned all this great information today, we held back some juicy stuff that we're going to be putting on the learning community. So make sure you join that learning community. We're actually going to end about 2 minutes early, so we'll give you time to join if you haven't already.
40 people joined.
40 people joined just by sitting in here today. Kudos to you guys. That's great. All right, have you gone through and circled the things you think you can do pretty quickly? How many have 5 things they can do? How many have 10? How many have more than 10? Very good. What you guys will find is that a lot of the things we're recommending, you're already doing. It's just a matter of dedicating the time up front, like you have been for these boot camps and the workshop that you've been in, and just sit down and plan it out. So all you have to do is implement it. The 8-week work plan Carol created, I just have to comment on it as a marketing professional. She's basically handed you the guide for an entire marketing plan around a campaign. It is invaluable. I don't even want to tell you what agencies charge people to do that. Invaluable. So use it, use it, use it. Use the learning community to ask us questions. Our emails are readily available. If there's something you just don't know, Carol and I or Chelsea can help you. And we just look forward to seeing you all super successful. Thank you for having us again.